Hi guys, I've got another story for you tonight. This story is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story. Nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Look at it, and there's Al. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault. Wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. I don't know about this. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into somebody else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn house of straw fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He'd been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up, thinking it was like a big cheeseburger just laying there. He's not a very nice wolf, is he? I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little bit smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house, and nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And he yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. Choo! And you're not going to believe this, but that guy's house fell down just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail, wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it there in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again, think of it as a second helping, but I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family because he had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick door. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? He said, get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me just one little cup for my dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, I snuffed, and I sneezed again. Achoo! Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can go sit on a pin. That wasn't very nice either, was it? Now, I'm usually pretty calm, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little bit crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the whole story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down stuff, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. The end. And that's called The True Story of the 3 Little Pigs. Pretty funny, isn't it? See you next time.